Now on CoastTV News.
Final funding session just over a week from its referendum. Indian River School District officials plan to hold the last public meeting before voters head to the polls. Milford money move, the reaction to the six-figure salary approved by its council for the newest city manager.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber and welcome to Coast TV News Midday. We are going to begin by taking a live look outside at Rehoboth Beach this morning, and it's no shock it's raining outside. First Alert meteorologist Bob Trahey is going to be joining us. Bob, we have a yellow alert day, not because it's sunny outside. Yellow does not mean sunny in that case.
It does not, Elisa, and that camera definitely looking stormy. We have the white caps, the water on the lens. It's a washout of a Wednesday as rounds of rain moving through this morning. Some of that has been heavy, and it's steady to moderate rain all across Sussex County now. Highway 9 down 113 from Georgetown to Selbyville, and then farther south into Pittsville, into Colburn. You're seeing some heavier rain. That's this yellow color. That's indicating some of the heavier rain, too, across the eastern shore through Cambridge and Hurlock, and then farther south into Crisfield. You're seeing that heavy rain as well as it continues to move off to the north and east, and we're seeing that heavy rain continuing to move in as low pressure is developing to our south. Now we're seeing the back edge of this rain moving through Virginia, so maybe a few hours of heavy rain and then it backs off, but we're seeing surface low pressure taking shape off the coast of North Carolina. That's what's revving up the winds and causing the heavy rain. Temperatures have not budged since this morning with mid to upper 50s with some lower 60s, and the winds really strong, sustained over 30 miles per hour at the coast, gusting to 37 Indian River inland, and it'll be a windy, wet afternoon as we see futurecast at noon, moderate to heavy rain, maybe a rumble of thunder into the afternoon, and watch for local flooding, especially in poor drainage areas where some of that rain will be heavy around 2 o'clock, even into late afternoon. Then that rain becomes more showery as we go into the evening hours, but we've got the washout with the wind. We get a little break as we go into Thursday, but then the rain returns Friday into a part of the weekend. Much more on your wet forecast coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. Tonight, one more big push by the Indian River School District ahead of next week's referendum. It is the third and final public meeting on the request to raise property taxes. It takes place at the Indian River High School 8 days ahead of another vote on June 5th. A referendum in March was defeated by over 600 votes. The referendum is asking voters to approve $22.5 million in additional funding to cover rising operating costs and maintain competitive salaries for staff. And we are just over a month away from the start of a new fiscal year in Worcester County, and today more work continues on the new budget. At their workshop meeting, the commissioners are reviewing budget requests, including those from the Board of Education. Part of that includes increasing the starting teacher salary to over $55,000. According to commissioners, the operating budget must be adopted on June 3rd. New this morning, support for a major investment in Georgetown's future. Today, Congresswoman Sarah McBride will visit the Boys and Girls Club of Georgetown to announce a $6 million federal funding request. Officials say the money would support the construction of a brand new 28,000 square foot facility, and the new building would double the number of kids the club can serve. It would also add preschool programs, job training for teens, and space for public recreation. The request now heads to the House Appropriations Committee. More money for the Milford City Manager. Last night, City Council voted to approve a contract for that position. The job comes with a $195,000 salary and moving expenses. Officials say the candidate has 30 years of experience and is from out of state. Some residents think that salary is too high, but others think it is reasonable.
I think it seems reasonable. The city administrator is the CEO of the whole city. He supervises everybody, and it's a big job. And he has, from what I understand it, the candidate has 30 years of experience.
City officials say they began their search for a new hire after the current city manager, Mark Whitfield, announced his retirement last October. Graduation season is in full swing, and Delmarva Power has a warning about something that could cut the celebration short. The company says foil balloons, also known as Mylar balloons, can cause power outages if they float into electric lines. Already this year, 235 customers have lost power because of it. That's over 270 hours in the dark. Delmarva Power is urging people to always keep balloons tied down or weighted and to pop them before throwing them away. If one does get caught in a line, do not touch it and call the power company. President Donald Trump announcing his latest action towards Harvard University. He says the pause on international student visas is in response to anti-Semitic activity at the Ivy League school. NBC's Alice Barr shows us it all comes with calls for more action against Russia to end the war in Ukraine.
At Harvard University, where students are preparing for graduation tomorrow, a focus on not just their futures, but the famed universities.
Will not be repressed. Today, we can stand up and say no.
Protests after the Trump administration directed federal agencies to review and cancel roughly $100 million worth of Harvard contracts, as President Trump seeks to cut all federal ties to the school.
We give them billions of dollars, which is ridiculous.
The administration accusing the university of liberal bias and not doing enough to fight anti-Semitism has already frozen billions in federal funds, launched investigations, and revoked Harvard's ability to enroll foreign students, though a federal judge temporarily blocked that move. The president also suggested shifting $3 billion in research grants to trade schools instead.
Apprenticeships, electricians, plumbers, we need more of those in our country and less LGBTQ graduate majors from Harvard University.
Harvard has refused to comply with demands to oversee its student admittance and faculty hiring processes, accusing the administration of retaliation for refusing to surrender academic independence.
Why cut off research funding? Sure, it hurts Harvard, but it hurts the country.
And it's not just Harvard. An internal memo seen by NBC News shows the administration is ordering a halt to interviews with international students seeking visas to study in the U.S. as the State Department moves to expand social media screening of applicants. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Coming up after the break, arrive before 45, the new airline check-in policy set to go into effect next week. Passengers who like to fly United will have to arrive at the airport earlier. The airline wants passengers checked in 45 minutes before a domestic flight takes off. This new policy will take effect June 3rd. United says it aligns with the airline's checked baggage deadline, and that is also 45 minutes before a plane takes off. With summer quickly approaching, Assateague Island National Seashore finds itself in a sticky situation. The island superintendent says the national parks in Maryland and Virginia do not have any lifeguards, and it's not clear if and when that will change. Park officials could not give much detail, but they say they are working to fix the problem as quickly as possible. In the meantime, one parent we spoke with says her family will stay in an area that does have a lifeguard.
Having children, it's very hard to educate them on the safety of the ocean. Oceans have a mind of their own and we can't control it, but we can control how we could take safety precautions to avoid situations.
Until this problem gets fixed, Assateague officials say state park lifeguards will help out with any emergencies on the Maryland side of the island.
We're seeing a windswept rain now along the coast. Tunnel and Razor Cam. The flag's really getting a workout. White caps. The rain's coming down sideways as we continue with a yellow alert as we go through the day, as temperatures hardly climb with the rainy conditions. And we're looking at that yellow alert for the possibility of flooding this afternoon. The rain continues this afternoon. We get a break Thursday with more rain Friday into Saturday. Good day to win an umbrella if you can hang on to it. Congratulations to Steve Toth in Ocean City. He has a new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV. I'll have more on this very wet and windy forecast after the break. Needless to say, a washout on this Wednesday. Boy, look at this mess out here. Here's the Tyndall's Casual Furniture Cam 58. This camera is up on the tower too, looking down through the clouds and the rain. And by the way, make sure you scan the QR code right there. Download the CoastTV weather app. You want that app when the weather is really nasty like this, or when it's nice as well. And it is nasty out there, and it's still rainy into the afternoon. Temperatures maybe climbing another couple degrees, but boy, it's been a wet one. And so far, Prime Hook, 6,500ths of an inch of rain. Lewis over a half an inch. Georgetown, 4,500ths. Dagsboro, a little less than that, almost 4/10 in Bethany Beach. And Rehoboth, almost a third of an inch. And it continues to rain as we have a yellow alert today for rain. That's heavy at times. And that's why we have a yellow alert, because it's impactful. We could be looking at some flooding, maybe some flooding, especially in poor drainage areas. We get a break Thursday, and then it looks like Friday into Saturday, more rain is likely, and maybe a few thunderstorms, and temperatures into the 70s as the rain continues today and into tonight. Becomes more showery before it ends tonight. We get a break Thursday, but then I think we're going to see another round of rain and maybe some storms later Friday into Saturday, and then it dries out Sunday, and I think it's pretty dry into next week. Not so right now. This is a radar replay of the last several hours, seeing the rain moderate to heavy at times. Anywhere it's dark green or yellow, that rain is coming down at a pretty good clip. That's the case around Selbyville, right along the Delaware-Maryland state line. So it's a washout all across Sussex County. And then farther to the south, down into Colburn, Salisbury, you're seeing the heavier rain too, and Eden as well. And we continue to see that rain for the eastern shore too, from Hurlock down to Bucktown, and then farther south and west towards Crisfield. That is where the heavy rain continues to fall, and it's mainly moving southwest to northeast. We're seeing these bands of heavier rain. Now, it's possible we could get some rumbles of thunder with this as well, as the back edge of this is now moving through the Richmond area. So we've got a few more hours of the heavier rain, then it will back off. The reason for this is we have area of low pressure developing off the North Carolina coast. It will slowly move up the coast and strengthen through the afternoon, kicking up the winds even more and keeping that soaking rain going. Temperatures haven't moved since this morning. 50s to 60 in Willards right now, Salisbury 61, and Millsboro 57. And those winds are howling now at the coast, gusting over 30 miles per hour, 35 at Indian River Inlet, even 27 in Millsboro. So a windy and rainy afternoon. Not expecting severe weather today, but a rumble of thunder is possible as we're seeing those winds in excess of 35 miles per hour at times, and then shifting to the south and diminishing tonight. And here's futurecasts as we go through time. We're looking at the showers continuing, I think, on Friday. We're going to get a break Thursday, but then Friday, we're looking at those showers continuing, and then Saturday morning we get a break, and then maybe another round of showers and storms into Saturday evening before we start to dry things out on Sunday. But we're going to tack on another half inch to maybe inch of rain on top of what we've already seen with this round, and then another round into the weekend could put some areas over 2 inches of rain. And good news heading into next week, we're looking at above normal temperatures as summer-like temperatures come back next week. But it's raw and rainy today with 60s from Georgetown to Laurel and Seaford, lower 60s, low to mid 60s, Cambridge to Vienna with the rain. And then we're looking at Pocomoke City and Chincoteague, also looking at temperatures into the mid 60s. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. It does dry out Thursday, 78, and then showers and storms on Friday, 77 later in the day. And then Saturday, another round of showers and storms, 73. Drying out Sunday, warming up into early next week. By Tuesday, mostly sunny and 80 degrees.
Coming up tonight on DSN at 7, it's boat docking in Crisfield. Then you can catch the final score at 10:30. And here's what you can expect this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
Well, Coast Life, we hope you're enjoying yourself. A short week feels like it's flying by, but of course we've got some Coast Life fun to get to. Let's see what's coming up today at 4 o'clock. If you've been struggling to maybe hit or maintain some of those fitness goals, well, Soleil Studio has a way of making it fun and effective.
And if you just want to hit a little pickleball over the net back and forth, there's some opportunities to teach the next generation of kids how to do it.
And as we prepare for a beach and summer season, you want to keep those beach umbrellas anchored down. We've got the perfect product to introduce you to. All of that is on the way at 4 o'clock. We will see you there.
A new chapter for Georgetown-based school Delmarva Christian recently broke ground for a big expansion. Right now, about 600 students are enrolled, but soon they'll have room for around 900. The new space on Sussex Pines Road will include a middle and high school building, plus a pre-K center. And the current high school, that's getting turned into an elementary school. All of that construction is expected to be finished for the 2027-2028 school year, and that project has a $30 million price tag. Almost all of that has already been raised through donations. And coming up after the break, change in COVID recommendation, the new guidelines for the CDC about who should get the COVID vaccine. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. posted a video on social media where he, along with other health officials, announced that the CDC would no longer recommend the COVID vaccine for healthy children and pregnant women. The change from the CDC comes a week after FDA Commissioner announced the agency planned to restrict the use of COVID shots to older adults, along with children and adults with underlying medical conditions.
It is a dreary-looking gutter helmet cam right now. Gray, windy, rainy in Ocean View 59. The soaking rain continues basically through the rest of the day. We get a little break tomorrow, then more rain Friday and Saturday. I'll have your 10-day forecast coming up. And call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. It's a wet one. Sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. I'll have your 10-day forecast coming up after the break. Stay tuned. We continue to see rounds of moderate to heavy rain moving through Sussex County, the eastern shore around Salisbury, and still more moderate to heavy rain farther to the south and west. We'll be in this for a few hours as we're looking at Futurecast noon hours, mid-moderate rain, and some of that will be heavy as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures only in the low 60s. We could see flooding for sure, especially in poor drainage areas, maybe a rumble of thunder too. Then it looks like the steady rain should start to wind down as we go into the afternoon hours, but still hanging on this evening in the form of showery conditions. Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Yellow alert today for the heavy rain. It dries out on Thursday, 78. More showers and storms Friday, upper 70s. I think we're still looking at showers and storms Saturday, drying out Sunday. Then it's finally feeling like summer into next week with mid to upper 80s starting Wednesday.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. And for more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Don't forget to join us for Coast TV News at 5 later this afternoon. Have a great day.